So obviously ROI could be incredibly valuable. We also work off a currency of standard metrics for television that might be a little different from other devices. Do you think that we could come to a common metric for cross-platform measurement? If so, what?
So I think I'm sort of in the middle of the road here with everybody else. I think the impression is the common metric. Um, an impression is not as impression. I believe that that measurement is right. However, the context of the impression makes it more or less valuable. So a performance metric, I think, will be there's a little bit of a difference between a currency and what you evaluate it on. The currency is just so you can trade some money, right? And I think the impressions is okay for trading money. The fact that it's more valuable for you, an instance of a client's exposure and proved to be more valuable with an ROI is different. So I think that we're gonna come into a world where you have a baseline currency that you agree to trade upon, and then you have a performance one, which is why you are trading for that inventory. So I don't think the impressions-based currency provides the right information for the decision. It's just a matter of making a transaction.
So the currency we have now is individual.
Mm-hmm.
SIM just came out with the 7 criteria for cross-platform where they said household is also good.
Mm-hmm.
Individual might be optimal, but households are also valuable.
Right.
Where do you stand here? And could we get to a currency metric, common metric for cross-platform that's household-based?
I believe in household as that common metric. I the age gender currency to me has some relevancy, but it's always been a proxy for what you really want. And because every advertiser has a different definition of who they want and who they believe will be their purchaser, you cannot come up with a currency that is infinite. So might as well be a household or a device, as that basis. Age gender might provide some guidance, but not enough. There's too much difference between somebody of the same age and gender throughout the world. What I think is the most valuable for currency, or not so much currency, is that a person is no longer a person. Like I can be I have a Jeep and a cat, right? I could be sold as a Jeep owner, I could be sold as a cat owner. Yet I'm still the same individual. I think to know who is in front of the TV, not age, gender, is the potential purchaser, what is the probability of the purchaser in front of the TV at that time? I think that is the right way to think about persons viewing, not age, gender. So is the Jeep owner who you want to sell some Mopar parts to in front of the television at this time? And I think that's where our analytics comes in. And there are a lot of really cool things going on right now that provide a propensity or a probability that that individual who is that purchaser is in front of the TV. I think that's better than age, gender.
Can you elaborate on that?
Um, well, I guess. I mean, you need a basic household match. You need a lot of data to identify these kind of strategies. Whether it's a transactional behavior that you proof afterwards versus, I mean, basically you could think of it as the impression goes off and then you have behavior that happens. If you can provide back to my first job, attribution of the impressions to the behavior, that's really where we're back to. We haven't gotten too far. So if you know that a commercial goes off at a certain time and people with these attributes are viewing that content at this time, and then let's just say you have a website or you're at a car dealership that suddenly people are coming to, and you say, okay, given that this commercial went off at this time, you have a website that is for a car, you had the ad, the cycle of impressions go up from to the transactions, meaning the website transactions in this case. So you can create models between that behavior and the impressions, and you can say, okay, this is coming directly from that exposure. And there are more direct ways of doing that, particularly in the mobile world, where a device, you absolutely know that the device heard the ad and that device actually showed up at the website. So that's direct attribution. And all these things are coming forward. People are getting much more practiced at this. And I think we'll continue to see that as it goes, next 2 years.
So I think you're talking about segmentation, but is that standardizable?
I think there are ways to do standard segments, absolutely, that are valuable. But there's also, as we're opening up this door, the real value will become custom segments. That will continue to be, in the moment, how many impressions do you need to deliver this household to get them to convert? If you can get to that smart and have a system that can deliver that, I think we'll see more of that. But we are so far away from that, particularly in television. We have a good 2 to 5 years, maybe 3 to 5 years until that becomes viable at any scale. There are a lot of small systems that are beginning to do these reactive marketing methodologies, whether you call it programmatic or not. I actually love that definition of programmatic, which is that in the moment the decision is made to present a certain commercial to a certain individual, as opposed to programmatic, which is automated buying of long tail commercial impressions. But yeah, I think that vision is what's going to happen over time. It's going to be a while before those systems are available. Again, that comes back to impressions-based currency. I think the hard part going forward is the conversation of reach. How do you know that you've reached your custom target? Do you have enough information to know how many there are out there and that your tactics are reaching them? Reach is, I think, the final frontier for custom.